So today's lesson is looking at square numbers. Square numbers kind of sounds a little bit weird, but once you break it down, it's actually quite a simple concept to understand. Basically, this is the definition here that we need to have locked into our heads. That is the main goal of our understanding for this lesson. So if we can understand that square numbers is basically the result of multiplying a number by itself. Any number multiplied by itself, when you get the result, that's called a square number. So if we have a look at this little grid here, we can see that there's this red line that's drawn across three little small squares, three little grid lines. So if we were to turn that into a square and draw, we've got three across, so if we draw 1, 2, 3 down, and then do the same on the bottom, the same on here, and square it off, what we've made here is a visual representation of 3 multiplied by 3. So we've basically done 3 squared here. And then if we were to count all these little dots inside, we'd be able to find out that that takes up 9 small squares. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, something we hopefully all knew. So 9 is a squared number. It is a 9, is a result of a number being multiplied by itself. 3 multiplied by 3. As a bit of revision, remember any numbers that multiply together to give you a result are called factors. So in this case, 3 is a factor of 9, and we've done 3 multiplied by 3, or 3 squared, and that's given us 9, which is a square number because we can draw 9 on a little visual representation like this to show us that it is a square number. If we put our eyes down the bottom here as well, we know that 16 is a square number because it's the result of a number being multiplied by itself. In this instance, 4 times 4. And again, I could draw it on one of those grids. I would draw 4 across, 4 down, and then I could make myself a nice little grid to show that it's a square number. Sometimes you get a question like this bottom one, which will say, okay, well, we know that 36 is a squared number. What number multiplies by itself to give you 36? So what number squared gives you 36? If you're pretty good at your times tables, you should be working out that square numbers are pretty simple right about now, because I know that 36 is 6 squared because it's the result of 6 multiplied by 6. If you're looking to extend yourself when you're working on squared numbers, there's the concept called square roots as well. And when you try to work out the square root, you try to work out what multiplied by what will give you that number. So it's pretty easy with these numbers. Things like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, all the way up to 81 and then 100. They're the standard ones that we all should know because it's 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, all the way up to 10 times 10. You might get some harder ones though. So if you're trying to work out the square root of something such as 169, if you're trying to work out the square root of 169, you need to think to yourself, well, what multiplied by itself would give you a result of 169? And you can do a few strategies to work out square roots if you like. You can sort of do a bit of guess and check. You can do a bit of working backwards. Or I'm guessing there's a lot of people that are watching this that know that 13 multiplied by 13 gives you 169. On calculators as well, there's a square root button. So if you pick a number that's not a square number by multiplying whole numbers by each other, what you'll find is the calculator will spit out a number that goes to about 10 decimal points. If you tried to work out the square root of, say, 52, you'll find that it would be a very, very long number on your calculator and not a round whole number. So if you are looking to extend yourself, you can venture down that route and have a bit of fun trying to calculate square roots as well. But remember, the main goal of this lesson is to understand that square numbers are a result of multiplying a number by itself. Any number multiplied by itself produces a square number.